All right, welcome back everyone. Happy Halloween. And before I get into this news of the day video, I just want to give a brief little spoiler alert. If you have not watched the TI-11 Grand Finals or you don't know who won TI-11 yet, skip ahead to the 1 minute mark because I'm going to be talking very briefly about something regarding the champions of the tournament, or just don't watch this video at all. Come back when you have watched those finals. So yes, before we get into our roster shuffling news, I just want to give a brief little update that the Aegis of Champions has gone missing in Singapore. At first, it felt like it was a bit of a joke with Tundra posting on their Twitter account that they partied a bit too hard and it had gone missing, and IceIceIce even chiming in saying that he was going to be auctioning off the Aegis of Champions to the highest bidder. But no, it is legitimately missing. They are actively trying to find it. Hopefully it is still in Singapore. If you have any information regarding it, feel free to DM anyone from Valve on Reddit or Twitter, or anyone from Tundra at Twitter as well. So any information on that, please let them know. Now, getting into the roster shuffling updates, which similarly to yesterday, I'm going to be updating you guys on some of the roster changes that have taken place over the past 30 days or so, in case you've missed it. Some of this is more recent than others. And kicking things off, we're going to be taking a look at Nigma Galaxy Southeast Asia, who have released their roster. This is heading into the new season. It is unclear which direction this team is going to be going in. This, of course, being a second team under the Nigma Galaxy name. Whether or not they're going to be continuing to compete with signing a new roster, or they're just going to be dropping out and going back to the Galaxy Racer org, we don't know. But as of right now, the roster has been released and all of their players are free agents. I haven't heard anything about any of these players taking a break, so as of right now, they are still available. I'd be very surprised if they don't end up getting picked up by other teams around the region. A lot of these players are very, very talented, and again, I'd be surprised if they don't end up getting picked up. So best of luck to those players and their endeavors. I think they are going to have fantastic seasons if they do end up on teams next year, and for Nigma Galaxy, going to be interesting to see where they go. One thing to mention before we get into the rest of this stuff, if you have noticed that I have missed any roster changes over the past month or so in this video or my video from yesterday, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. Try to provide a source if possible, because I do want to mainly stick to things that have been confirmed, even though some of the rumors that are going around, specifically around North and South America right now, are pretty spicy. Until that stuff gets confirmed, I will not be talking about it formally in a video. So if you want to do that, let me know in the comments down below. And of course, links to everything I talk about in the description down below, as well as the link to our Discord. So if you want to check that out, feel free to. Getting into the news again, back into some roster changes, and this doesn't really have anything to do with Fnatic, but it was actually the last team that this player had played for before he took his year-long break, and that is Schwann, who is making his return to the pro scene. He is now actively looking for a new team to join. I'm really interested to see where he ends up because he has taken so much time off. Does he still get that top mid player of the region credibility, or has that slipped a little bit? Will he have to crawl his way up through a team that is a little bit weaker in the region? We'll see. But regardless, he is back from his year-long break. He is looking to get back into the pro scene. And again, nothing to do with Fnatic. It's just the last team that he has played for. That means the last tournament that he played in was actually TI-10, which was a little disappointing for a lot of Fnatic fans, and I'm sure the players themselves. Moving on now over to China, we have Ponlo, who has parted ways with Aster.Aries. He is still looking for a new team currently. He's looking to continue playing position 4, and from what I understand, he's willing to relocate. He has relocated before in the past, so we'll see how that ends up going for Ponlo. I'm sure there will be some demand for Ponlo, although his resume hasn't exactly been the most impressive. So it's possible that he ends up on a tier 2 team in some region around the world. As for Aster.Aries, they now have a slot to fill. We'll see what they do with that. They have had a pretty prominent DPC season thus far, but nothing too impressive. So we'll see what they do from here. Moving now over to North America, we have Gunnar, one of the top mid laners of the region, who has parted way with Nouns, previously known as 4Zoomers before they got signed, and this roster still is largely consisted of those members from that 4Zoomer squad. He has left the team. He is looking for a new team. And if you recall correctly, this is exactly what he did last year. He left 4Zoomers, was looking for a new team. Didn't seem like anything really happened from there. He didn't get picked up by any new squads. He ended up coming back to his old team. So I'm sure Gunnar is looking for new opportunities, but if they don't come, he's willing to go back to his old teammates. But again, unconfirmed on that front for now. We just know that he's a free agent, and Nouns is going to be needing to look for a new mid laner if Gunnar is in fact not planning on coming back, if he does in fact get signed by another team. So we'll see how that develops from here. Gunnar, I'm pretty sure, is going to have a pretty big market on him. He has been, again, one of the top mid laners in North America for quite some time. Now moving over to Western Europe, we have Gaimin Gladiators and Boom parting ways. It was, again, unclear whether or not this was the team kicking Boom or Boom leaving the team, although I'd probably, if I had to have my own personal opinion in this, say that it was probably Boom leaving the team. Just the amount of dominating performances this guy had with the team. It felt like whenever Gaimin Gladiators was playing their best, it was when Boom was out there just dominating games, dominating series. And I doubt that Gaimin Gladiators would have let him go just off of the back of that, but who knows. For now, Boom is a free agent looking for a new team, and Gaimin Gladiators now have a slot to fill. We'll see what they end up doing with that. Again, losing a player like him who did seem to have a whole lot of chemistry with a lot of the players on the team is a pretty hefty loss. So we'll see what they do from there. It seems like Western Europe is also due for a pretty significant shakeup with some of the best teams in the region. Maybe Boom is just trying to get ahead of it, get his name in there as soon as possible. So we'll see how that ends up. And Gaimin Gladiators, what does this mean for the next season? Losing one of their best players. Are they still going to be one of the top teams in the region? Is Boom going to end up on one of the top teams in the region? Is he still going to be one of the top mid laners of the region? A lot of questions heading into this year that I'm super stoked to get into once we actually have our finalized rosters heading into the new season, which the new season itself should have some pretty big reforms with the structures of the tours based on the reception that a lot of players have had. So super stoked in general just for the next tour. And finally, ending things off, going back to Southeast Asia, we have IceIceIce and SMG parting ways from one another. Again, unclear whether or not this was a kick or IceIceIce leaving. The way I see it is IceIceIce was just looking for a team that was on its way to TI. Since that fell through one way or another, he has now parted ways with the team. So we'll see where IceIceIce ends up. Again, fantastic player, had an amazing season before TI 10 with Evil Geniuses. Seriously, I think he was one of the top 5 players throughout that entire year. We'll see where he ends up. He, again, is willing to relocate to most regions. He has played in most regions, so we'll see where he ends up. And SMG, another slot to fill for them. We'll see if they're going to be able to keep themselves in contention for being one of the top teams in Southeast Asia. It felt like over the past year, they just weren't quite able to crack into the top 3 very reliably. They were still in contention with teams like Boom, T1, and Fnatic, but they weren't reliably able to beat them. They weren't able to beat them reliably enough, so we'll see if they're able to do that in this upcoming season. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you don't want to miss another video just like this one, feel free to hit the subscribe button, like, share, hit the bell if you want to be notified. Again, if I missed anything in this video or my video yesterday, let me know in the comments down below with a source if possible. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys very shortly with some more roster shuffling news that I'm super stoked for. All right, bye.